In this lesson we're going to create a HUD or heads up display. HUDs are very useful for giving feedback to the user regarding score or health and lives or anything else that you want to feedback to the user when they're playing your game. To create a HUD we need to go to other node, but this time we're going to create what's called a canvas layer. Now a canvas layer doesn't interact with anything that's on the screen, and the canvas layer always appears at the very front of your project. So this HUD will stay on the screen all the time, and it's easy visible to see for players to see then. So we click on canvas layer, go to create, and then again naming conventions, we're double clicking onto that. I'm just going to call it HUD for HUD. Now what we need to place on this HUD are labels, and labels are a really nice way of presenting screen objects in text and this type of thing. But we're also going to introduce a font in this scene as well. So if you look at in the file system, in my assets folder, I've created a font called Pancake TTF, or True Type Font. I get my fonts, I think I said earlier, from dafont.com. It's full of thousands of great fonts, fantastic, and lots of them are free. But there are many other font type websites to get the information from, but I like to use dafont. Okay, so what we need to do, don't worry too much about where this is kept. I've actually called it Pancake and put a True TTF. You'll see what happens a little bit later when we drag a font into the inspector. So with the HUD selected, right click, add child node, and if we just type label, and you'll notice there's a 3D label which we don't want. We just put the label, double click that, and then we're going to get a label. Now before I rename this, I know for a fact I want 3 labels, one for score, one for health, and one for lives. So I'm not going to rename this, I'm just going to duplicate this so we can have similar types of information. So we go to right click, duplicate, or you could use Control D. I'll use this one for the first one, and I'll use Control D for the second one. So that's there. All we need to do now is rename these. So we double click. I'm going to call this score. Now note that I'm going to use capital letter for the names of the labels. Later we're going to create what's called a game manager, and we're going to use lowercase letters for all them variables, so we don't get confused about which variable to which in our computer programming later. Okay, so we're going to do health, and we're going to go to lives, which is the final one I'm going to do here. But you can create HUDs on however you want. I'm just showing you the techniques as you know. Okay, so there's 3 labels now. Now they all appear there, but they're all appearing in the same place just for now. Now if we select the score label and we type in the text property in the inspector, I type score and use colon, you'll notice that this appears in the label. It's quite blurry yet because we've zoomed in really well, but we've got a default font in Godot, which we can set our own default fonts up. Just for now I want to show you how to just put a font in there, so you can see you can't really see it. But what we're going to do, we're going to create a different font so we can see things in a style that we want. Now whatever game you're going to create, you want to create a different atmosphere, so there will be different fonts of course to create that different atmosphere. But just for now, with the score selected, you'll notice it in the play area there, I'm going to scroll down and you can see theme overrides here. I'm going to click onto theme overrides. You can see colors, constants, fonts. We're just going to use font size and font itself. So click onto font. Currently it's empty, so we'll click onto the empty. Now there's a better way than, or the best way really to actually go to the font is click onto quick load. And what this will do, it will look inside all your assets folder and bring where the fonts are automatically. So I'm going to click onto that, and you can see that appears into there. Or I could have simply dragged the font into there, but this is a faster way of organizing it. I'm going to make the font size about 40. Now you'll notice what happens here when I type 40 in here and enter. You'll see the font goes to the size I want it to be, and if you wanted to put different colors on it and things like that, we can do them here, but we'll just leave it for now for this. Now the score is in the right position, but if we use the health one, we do exactly the same thing. So we go to, with the health selected, we go to theme overrides, we go to fonts, click into empty, quick load, double click, and we're now there. But the health is being hidden behind the score. So if we go to health and change the size now to be exactly the same as that last one, which is 40, you'll see it's there, but you can't see it because the score's in front of it. So one way you can do this, with the label selected, you can go into this formatting here and format it where you want. There's all kinds of different formats, but I'm going to go to the middle, and you can see that now goes straight into the middle. Now what I forgot to do earlier was put the health in there into the text field and then a colon, and you can see that appears really well there. The final one, we're going to go to lives and not forget to put the text in this time. Okay, so lives colon, go down to the theme overrides, font, empty, quick load, double click, and then we can go to lives, and then we can choose this option again, and this time we can choose top right. Now you'll notice I did do the size, so we go to font size 40, it's the same as the other ones, and that's sorted out. Now the difference with this one is lives, because you can see here that's where the actual project area is. The lives, when we populate it later, you won't be able to see them. So what we need to do is drag this a little bit. So click onto the move key, so you got the actual select, move, rotate and scale, but we'll come to them eventually. So move, I'm going to move this along slightly, so when the actual lives comes in, you'll be able to see the live still on the screen. Now you'll notice if I've done that, that's not quite as much gap there, so I'm going to just drag the health slightly this way, and then the score I'm going to move in ever so slightly from there to make it a bit more even. So you can see now we've got the score, health and lives. Now if I test that scene, make sure we save it in the scenes folder. You'll notice then score, health and lives appears happily there. In the next video we're going to do a game manager which will populate these labels with actual scores or displays that we want to show in our games. So I'll see you in the next video.